The first round of the 2024 NFL playoffs is over. 6 teams went home last week, 3 from each conference. There are 8 remaining. Only 2 will punch their ticket to New Orleans next month. It's a lot of controversy going on in Pittsburgh, and a lot of fans a lot of Steelers fans. They're trying to kick out the longest tenured coach in the National Football League, Mike Tomlin. Or is it time for Tomlin to be removed as head coach in Pittsburgh? It's a big move in Dallas as Mike McCarthy is out. But there's a leading candidate for the job right now out of Boulder, Colorado. Oh, and y'all know who that is. So sit back and listen to the podcast panel as they give their opinions on what they think is going to go on with the Cowboys and the Steelers. Let's talk to them right now on the Real to Sports Talk Show.
I can't accept the loss, I'm hard-headed. There's a little bit of madness to my method. Many falling off that fine line that I'm treading. I risk anything to be great, and I'm not letting nobody rob me of my victory. Number one, that's what I'm meant to be. When by any means, only thing that makes sense to me, I can make nice or make history. I got that dog in me, yeah, turn me up. Big energy, got the crowd going nuts. I got that dog in me, yeah. I think on anyone, I don't need a one-on-one. I got that dog in me, yeah. I'm talking all bite, no bark. I could rip your squad apart. I got that dog in me, so what's up? Yeah, so what's up? I told her move over. Enough of that mediocre I've been. The man since cruising around in the stroller. I got ice in my veins like a cut in Minnesota. Why not show you how I'm built? Come a little closer. A lot of heart, been smart, aura gotta glow. We can restart, give head start, still get the same result. I'm about mine. Don't you get it confused? I'ma win again. Yeah, that's all that I do. I got that dog in me, yeah.
All right, man. We appreciate you guys all over the world that is watching right now, man. We are the Rooted Sports Podcast, and around here, we talk about some of the hottest news going on in the NFL, but not just NFL alone, man. We cover NBA, UFL, and college football as well. This show is sponsored by our good friends over at SeatGeek and Bonfire, man. You can get you some Rooted Sports gear over in the store. Right now, it is cold outside right now, ladies and gentlemen, and right now you need to go grab you a Rooted Sports Podcast hoodie. If you click on the link in the description box below, it'll take you right to the store. You can get one for a special price of $25. $25 for a hoodie. Come on now. Use promo code REAL2GEAR. It's down in the description box below. Get 15% off. Goddamn, 15% off. Go get your hoodies. Cold outside. Courtesy of the Rooted Sports Podcast. All right, man. I'm sitting here with 2 legends of this great fine establishment here. I got the OG. He is the OG, ladies and gentlemen. And this dog, he bites. Still representing strong, the mighty Minnesota Vikings. Oh, also, he is the Rooted Sports NFL Trivia Champion, Steel. He is the legend, the legendary Q-Dog. The dog.
Hey, what's going on, people? Glad y'all able to tune in. Snow is cleared. We're going into the divisional round. Unfortunately, my boys didn't make it. Sam Donald, you had a very nasty, poor performance. It didn't neglect what you did for the regular season. So we're going to see what we're going to do. But Due to the Game is still alive. The only podcast member that's still alive in the playoffs. And due to the game, I'm on the couch. I'm waiting for you. And I will see you Sunday. Due to the game. So otherwise, man, I wish the best for them, but I was just playing. But I'm glad y'all tuned in today, and I hope y'all enjoy the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, I got right here, man, the day one. I mean, from all the way to episode 1 out of these 330 or something like that. I don't know. I lost count. But out of all these episodes, the day 1, the man who I had to hunt all over Greensboro, North Carolina for. Ladies and gentlemen, he represents the 3-time Super Bowl champion, my Las Vegas Raiders. He's Oklahoma State alumni. Go Pokes. This man is a professional wrestling archive. He's the Real Sports Wrestling Trivia champ. He is the very talented Mr. Young Mark.
Hey, man. Happy to be here with y'all. Host left something out in the intro there. For the next 72 hours, I will be representing and cheering for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish football team. History can be made Monday night, people. We can have the first ever black man to win a national championship at the FBS level. And even better, his name is Marcus. Let's go, Notre Dame. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, Notre Dame. I'm with that, man. I can't stand Ohio State, bro. I never liked them. Never like. What the hell is
They're the college version of the team with a good barbecue for you.
Yeah, man, I can't stand them, bro. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. Well, we thank you guys, ladies and gentlemen, again for being here. I got the dog right there. I got day 1 right there. But before I want to start the show, man, we shout out to the MVP, the 2024 MVP, Rockstar Rock, man. Shout out to him. He could not be on today. His children is sick, man. His kids is sick. They got that virus going around, man. But he called me the other day, man. He said he couldn't. He would love to be on the show, but he got to take care of them kids, man. So, Little Rocks kids, y'all watching? Hey, we hope you get well soon. Drink plenty of fluids. Listen to your mom and daddy. Listen to your mom and daddy, man. So shout out to the MVP, Rockstar Rock. Shout out to him and shout out to his kids, man. Shout out to his kids. Let's get this party started. Let's get it started, man. Boy, these Pittsburgh Steelers fans, boy, you talking about the woo! There's some crying son of a gun there. But Pittsburgh Steelers fans make stance on firing Mike Tomlin. Out of all people, Mike Tomlin. The Pittsburgh Steelers have now gone one and done in the postseason in each of their last 5 playoff trips, and that has led to calls for head coach Mike Tomlin to be fired. The ugly manner in which the Steelers finished the season didn't help either. It feels unlikely that the Steelers will go that route, but it's something the franchise should consider with the team stuck in neutral. For far too long now, Pittsburgh has been barely good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to go all the way, which is unacceptable for a team that expects to win Super Bowls. Following the embarrassing 28-14 loss at the hands of the Baltimore Ravens in the wildcard game on last Saturday night, many Steeler fans made their stance on firing Tomlin very clear. I said this and I quote, it's a fan that said this and I quote, you changed the quarterback, you changed the OC, still 10-7, still fizzling out in December, still not winning a playoff game. Where the F does the blame lie? Fire Mike Tomlin. There's another fan put this. He said, the most overrated coach in the NFL by far. What? The only step forward for the Pittsburgh Steelers is to fire Mike Tomlin now. It's the only way. And this one last one said, I know a lot of people have been there already for a long time, but I'm ready, said another fan. Blow it up and fire Mike Tomlin. Now, not all Steelers fans feel this way, but after the latest playoff exit and seeing the same result we've seen in recent years, it's safe to say that there are more fans on board with cutting Tomlin loose than there were before. So let's start with the OG himself here. Let's start with the legendary Q Dog here. Q, they got their ass whooped by Baltimore. That was a dumpster fire game. You seen that game. That was just a plain dumpster fire. But throughout the years, Mike Tomlin has been successful. He's been to the playoffs every single year. But he only had one Super Bowl, and that was 2008 right, Mark?
2009. Super
Oh,
Bowl
I got two.
43.
You got one.
He's gone to 2, but he
He going to
won
2
one.
because he lost to Green Bay in 10.
Mhm.
Okay, so Q. I know you're a Viking, but can you squeeze into the fan base of the Steelers fan? Would you fire a guy like Mike Tomlin right now? Would you fire him right now and just blow the whole shenanigans up? Just blow it up.
Well, this is a tough one right here. The reason why I'm saying this is tough, you got to look at the history of the coaches of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Rooneys, this organization, they only had 3 coaches in their whole entire organization. I forget the first coach name.
Chuck Noll.
Chuck Noll, yeah, Bill Cowher, and now Tomlin. And all these 3 coaches built from the same type of pedigree. And so they bring toughness to the team, and they're winners. And they only want, and so that's saying that this organization being around that long, they're only looking for a specific type of coach. So fans, you got to be careful what you ask for, because look at the history of your organization. You're only asking for a specific type of coach. Are there any Mike Tomlins out there? You ask yourself.
There you go. There you go.
Are there actually? Because this organization was built on this type of coaching. So if you make a move to fire Mike Tomlin, then you're going to something different. And when you go to something different, then the whole ship might sink. Yeah, I mean, I know that y'all are above water. Well, at least you're above water. At least you're going to the playoffs. So I mean, this man has a longevity of being in the NFL, along with the coach of Harbaugh for many of years. You know, these men play each other twice a year. These men talk to each other on the sideline. They talk about their families and kind of like they were raised together. Like they remember when their kids were small. And he met his family. He met his family. They develop a friendship. I mean, I know that they're arch rivals in the division, but these 2 men develop a friendship along the way of all these years. And so they respect each other. You're always going to get a good battle out of each other, because it's not the fact that they don't like each other, but they respect each other. So they respect each other. They're going to play a certain way. They respect the organization. Now, the players might not like each other, but the coaches respect each other.
Right.
And so just because you didn't move along, you played one of your divisional rivals, and they beat you, I really feel that this man, Mike Tomlin, still has something to offer. Because if the team was not making it to the playoffs every year, I can go with what you're saying. But at least he's making it to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? But I think, you know, with time, I know everything changes with time. Father Time gets us all and everything. And maybe he might, you know, that maybe he might have lost his mojo a little bit. We can say that he might not, but I don't know what it is, but I still think this man got something. He still is a motivator. He still is a motivator. I like when he told that when he was at play, I forgot what team they were playing. He was talking to the referee, trying to see what was up with the call, and the referee gave him a call that he didn't like. And then he told him, saying, "Man, get the fuck out of my face with this shit." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that shit. I remember that.
And he can say that because of who he is and all the only years he's been coaching. He's a winner. He's won championship, and so he's gotten teams to the promised land. And so I really feel that
GC.
Yeah.
Okay. GC, yeah. He agreeing with you. Go ahead, Q. He just agreeing with you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man, that you know, I know everybody is really when you're down and when you ain't winning and everything, you know, they're coming from the front. You know what I'm saying? They want you out of here, but you got to be careful what you ask for. Think about the history of your organization and what type of coaches that you imply in your organization. Anything else wouldn't be different. Anything else wouldn't be right for this organization. If you can't get a coach like Mike Tomlin, Chuck Noll, you know, and you know, be a coward. You can't you cannot change that. And so you got to hold on to this man. He's going to figure it out. He's going to work some way out. At least he getting into your playoff. He just got to find a way to get you further. So I say no. I say no, man. No, just don't fans don't do that, man. Y'all got a rich organization, very strong organization that's built on something. Don't destroy it by just going out there just getting anybody.
I agree. I agree with the dog. One man that cannot stand this organization, and that would be Mr. Young Mark. I mean, your takes on, should they fire Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh Steelers, or should they continue on with him? What do you think?
If you are a longtime viewer of the Real to Sports podcast, or if you know me personally, you know that there's quite literally nothing else that I hate in the football universe more than that team, that logo, that organization, and everything that they stand for. I literally hate them with every fiber of my football being. Having said all of that, this is the Real to Sports podcast, so I have to keep it real with everybody. I think firing him would be a huge mistake, and I would highly advise Steelers fans to pump the brakes. It's different, in to borrow a term from college sports. It's a different standard of excellence when you're the head man in charge of a blue blood program. Like the Steelers are one of the OGs in the National Football League. They've been dominant for decades. Like they're literally one of the biggest franchises in pro football. So it's a different standard of excellence coaching for Pittsburgh than they say coaching for Carolina or coaching for Arizona. So I understand what Steelers fans expect. I get it. You haven't really been winning when it matters the most, and I understand that. But I would challenge you to proceed with caution, because say you do get what you want and you do fire this man, are you ready to accept what's going to come after that? Because I can guarantee you, you're going to be wandering through the wilderness for a little bit, and if you're not too careful, you might end up in football hell, like my Raiders have been in most of my life, or like teams like the Detroit Lions and Cleveland Browns have been in most of my life. You don't want any parts of that. When the Cowboys got rid of Tom Landry after his long tenure, they wandered through the wilderness for a little bit before Jimmy Johnson got there.
Very true.
When the Bengals got rid of Marvin Lewis, they had to wander through the wilderness a little bit until Joe Burrow got there.
Belichick,
Patriots.
Patriots.
They got rid of Belichick. They're wandering through the wilderness right now.
Right.
When the Raiders got rid of John Gruden, we wandered through the wilderness and ended up in football hell for over 20 years. So just be careful. And to play devil's advocate here for a second, because Q-Dog brought up the history of the Steelers and the history of their head coaches. Chuck Noll won multiple Super Bowls. Coach Cowher won a Super Bowl. And Mike Tomlin won a Super Bowl. But here's the difference between Tomlin and the rest of them. Chuck Noll had a franchise quarterback in Terry Bradshaw. Cowher didn't start winning Super Bowls until he got a franchise quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger. What does Mike Tomlin have? He's had a past his prime Ben Roethlisberger majority of his time there. And then outside of Ben Roethlisberger, they literally had a list of no names at the quarterback position, yet he's still finding a way to win. He's literally defining the impossible, because we know, hell, I know from personal and firsthand experience, it is very difficult to win in the National Football League if you don't have a franchise QB. But Mike Tomlin has said, bump that, and he's been doing it the entire time he's been there. So what I think would help both sides here would be not to go after the veteran quarterback. We tried that. I seriously want Pittsburgh to buck the trend and get out of their comfort zone a little bit and go ahead and make a move and draft your franchise guy.
There you go.
You're going to end up kind of in a similar position that your in-state members, the Philadelphia 76ers, ran for a long time, where they were kind of stuck in no man's land, not good enough to win in the postseason, but not bad enough to get a high pick in the draft. In the NFL, you have the opportunity to manipulate the draft, or you can make trades, you can be aggressive and make moves to get up there and get your franchise guy. You tried to wait and let the franchise quarterback fall to you. It worked with Ben Roethlisberger. It failed miserably with Kenny Pickett.
It sure
Get
did.
Tomlin a franchise guy. Let him continue to build that defense, continue to build that offensive line and that running game, and they can go far in the playoffs. They can start having that postseason success. But when you look at the teams that keep doing them in the postseason, they all have franchise guys. So I think that would be the remedy for Pittsburgh. Get them a young, very talented franchise quarterback in the draft.
You know, I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna mix both of you guys. Both of you guys are just hitting on all cylinders. I'm gonna put it in a little bit of a wash here. You know, I wouldn't fire Mike Tomlin either. You lost your everlasting mind. This guy is what Q said. This guy is a leader among men. This is a man's man right here. Something that is very lacking in the National Football League today, especially when you got a prima donna like George Pickens. You need somebody to control that guy, because that means that's your number one receiver. So you need somebody to control that guy right there, because it's something ain't right with him. But anyway, the Pittsburgh Steelers problem, one of their problems is they're like the Carolina Panthers of the AFC. They don't spend any money. They don't draft. Well, they shouldn't have to. They're always in the playoffs, so they always get they're always in the low end of the stick in the draft, but they don't draft any great talent like that. And like Mark said, it worked with you shot your shot with Ben Roethlisberger. Luckily, it happened. Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Okay, so that worked out. But then you look what the Steelers had, bro. They had Ben Roethlisberger. Then you had a guy named Hines Ward, Troy Polamalu. Those guys was not on anybody's radar scale. Those guys came cheap. And see, that's what the Rooney's problem been over the years. They've been getting cheap players. Okay. So now I'm like Mark, I would draft a franchise quarterback. Russell Wilson. I keep Russell Wilson. I'll let Justin Fields go, because Justin Fields is still young. He still got potential. Let him go with some other team. Let him go. You shouldn't have got him in the first place, but let him go, because Pittsburgh is starting to get some problems, major problems, and it won't be fair to bring a brand new coach in there to figure that shit out, because that franchise, as you can see, year after year after year, it's falling. It's falling. Then you got the mess with Antonio Brown. Okay, that's been cleaned up by Tomlin. Now you're getting this mess with George Pickens. So now he's trying to clean that mess up too. Then the Russell Wilson thing, trying to clean that up. It's a lot going on in Pittsburgh, and I think they should just let the guy keep going. He's been there, 18 years, right? 18 years?
Yeah, almost 20 years.
Okay, so, I mean, and like you said, you've been winning. You've been winning. So what if you got one Super Bowl? You've been winning. Hell, like Mark said too, I'm a Raiders fan. I've been a Raiders fan 32 years now. 32 fucking years, and we only been one Super Bowl. I only seen my team go to Super Bowl one time. I seen little playoffs here and there, but one time. So Pittsburgh, you have a thing of going to the playoffs each. And this guy leads you. He does his job. He leads you every single time to the playoffs. You always make it, from division titles to playoff appearances. You're there, and I understand that it's frustrating, because host, how are we just gonna keep going to the playoffs and never get a Super Bowl? I get that, but you got to also look at it like this too. The Rooneys don't spend no money, and look at the AFC. The AFC is getting better and better every year. That's why you're not going to get a Super Bowl, because teams like Kansas City, there's teams like Denver that's on the rise now. There's teams like the Raiders, my Raiders. They're going to be coming next year. Then you got Buffalo. You got the Baltimore Ravens. You got the Cincinnati Bengals. You got teams that's continuing to add on every single year, and they're getting better and better and better. So what Pittsburgh has to do is spend some money so they can kind of get up there too as well. Just like like I said, Carolina and Pittsburgh are the same. Carolina is never going to move in the NFC South unless they get a dog. You cannot win until you get a dog. You have to spend money to go up in the rankings, because for the next 2-3 years, that NFC South is going to be dominated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Atlanta Falcons. Look at the Falcons. They spent bukus of money. Yeah, mostly on Kirk Cousins, but they went and got Michael Penix. They spent money. They gave a little money to Drake London. You know, they got all these key things around. They got Zach Robinson, offensive coordinator. They got the head coach. Hold on, Mark, help me out here.
Canales?
No, the head coach for Falcons.
Oh, Raheem Morris.
Yeah, Raheem Morris. Changes. Pittsburgh, I'm gonna shut up. Pittsburgh is a stubborn team. It's stubborn. And they set in their own ways. But this ain't 1970 no more. You have to get out of those ways. I know you only had 3 head coaches and whatever, but you got to get out of those ways. You got to get out. Pittsburgh Steelers fans, hold on. Just hold on. Hold on. Give Tomlin one more chance to settle this out. But it's part of the Rooneys too, man. They got to get out of that old way. Spend money, get players. That's the only way it's going to happen. It's the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only way they're going to do it.
If they want to send their team into football hell, nobody would cheer for that decision more than me. I would love to see that team go through football hell for a couple of decades.
Oh, man. Look who's in the live chat. One of the all-time greats here on the show is Jay on the track. Jay on the track. The whole show needs to be drug tested.
Man? Jay on the track. Appreciate that championship, buddy. Every time I go against Jay on the track in a football championship, I walk out victorious. I appreciate it, man.
Testing for everything. Oh, man, they're talking about we need to get drug tested.
I ain't saying nothing irrational.
Y'all want to fire, bro? Y'all want. Oh, man, I don't think so. Q, man. I don't think so, bro. I think they should just keep rolling with it, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it either. I mean, come on, man. Come on.
I want Coach Tomlin to break Coach Landry's coaching record, like the most consecutive years of one team. I really want Coach Tomlin to break that record.
He just got to draft right. I think it's going to start with the GM. For them, they're gonna need some. They're gonna definitely need some new. They need some new, young, fresh talent in there. They're gonna need it. He said Mark made sense. Oh, GC said test the host. Now I gotta pull out Justin. I gotta piss in the cup. Oh man, it just needs some youth, man. I think Tomlin should stay, man. We hardly have leaders in this world anyway, Q. We hardly have leaders in professional sports. Leadership is definitely dead, especially in basketball. That shit is done. Done. We have hardly no leaders in basketball. I would say a true leader in the NBA right now would be somebody like Chris Paul. Leader. You know, but I don't know, Q. If Mike Tomlin, let's say Mike Tomlin get fired on Monday morning, right? Who would be best to fit that role?
So I don't know, but I know Mike Tomlin gonna get scooped up like a hot potato.
What you talking about?
Yeah, I know that. You talking about dropping your dime, losers weakness, founders keepers. That'd be a terrible move. I really feel I don't know, man. I don't know who. I mean that might be a position for Brian Flores. I think he's the only one I know.
Somebody.
I think Brian Flores can slide right in there. Bring him a good offensive coordinator in there. I believe he's the only one that they let him go.
But Tom, okay, Flores, yeah, because he's been there, so he knows.
Been there. He was linebacker coach. Yeah, but I don't know if what if they keep him and he stays there, then you get the same results next year.
Yeah, there you go.
That
There
then
you
the
go.
fans might have a legitimate gripe. Then I think
Jay,
give him one more year to keep it right. No, don't bring in prime time.
prime on Pittsburgh.
No,
What the hell?
I actually very much agree with Jay on the track.
They
Because
need youth.
In a sense, Coach Prime is as old school as they can get as far as like his mentality and the way that he observes and teaches the game of football. Coach Prime is old school, but
He's a good recruiter. Prime's he's a great recruiter too, though. He's a great recruiter.
He can relate to the young people on that team. They do have a lot of young people on that team, but most importantly, and I think this is what would benefit them the most, he's not allergic to taking a calculated risk when he needs to. Like if he needs to get aggressive and put his chips all in, he'll do that. And that's what I really think Coach Tomlin and Pittsburgh really needs is, let loose a little bit, change it up. Like we got to get out of that, Otis Redding and Ray Charles era music, man. Come on to the 2000s a little bit. You know what I mean?
But if people are saying that about Tomlin, they need to say the same thing about Harbaugh. Because Harbaugh got one Super Bowl as well. He goes to the playoffs just about every year as well. So do you fire Harbaugh now? You're gonna fire Tomlin?
What's saving Harbaugh is they might not have gone to the Super Bowl, but they at least can win a game or two in the playoffs and they get there. Plus, Harbaugh has a franchise quarterback. Tomlin doesn't have that. Like Tomlin's literally been going into the playoffs with washed out Ben Roethlisberger, Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges, like
Landry.
Literally, who has he had that was a legitimate quarterback you could take to the playoffs? That's really what I believe they truly need. Take a page out of Cincinnati's playbook a little bit. You saw how they got aggressive. They got Burrow. They could have gotten Penei Sewell, but they said, no, we need a wide receiver. They got Jamar Chase.
Right.
Hey, man, they got to the Super Bowl real quick.
But they got youth. That's what I'm saying. That's a great point right there, Mark. They went and got youth. They went and got somebody. They went and got that. They went and drafted. Pittsburgh don't do no good drafts, bro. I think
they don't trade up. When was the last time you heard Pittsburgh make a blockbuster trade during the draft to move up?
Because they're too stubborn. They're too stubborn to make change. They're too stubborn to make change, man. Rooney's, it's the Rooney's. Rock says Andy Reid got his walking paper, so did Tony Dungy, and they won Super Bowl elsewhere. However, Tomlin needs to bring another ring to Steel City in Pittsburgh, rejecting any team looking at Mike T. And I get what Rock's saying, yeah. I don't think it's going to be another Super Bowl coming in Pittsburgh. I don't think that. No.
Not until they get that QB, right?
No, exactly. And there's too many teams involved. Josh Allen is the beast of the AFC, period. He's the best quarterback up there. Lamar behind him. And you got the new class coming in with Bo Nix. Bo Nix is not bad at all. Justin Herbert, got some kinks in him, but I mean he could be good.
I don't know about Herbert.
He could be good. But he can be with the right quarterback coach. With the right quarterback coach, it's not as bad. He just made terrible decisions. He dropped the ball completely from what he did last year. His
head coach is a former quarterback coach.
That's very true. But I think Harbaugh is more focused on the team right now. Herbert was pretty good last year. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Q.
Yeah, I think that what y'all hit the nail on the coffin when you're talking about they need to get a franchise quarterback because all these teams that you're naming has franchise quarterbacks and they're young.
Yes,
so with that being said, that if you don't get this franchise quarterback year after year, they're going to be ahead of you. So you're going to have to just
like the Raiders.
Like Mark say, you just put all your chips together and do what you got to do and get this franchise quarterback so you can catch up with teams in the AFC. I think they're missing that point. They're missing that point. You're not going to really, it's the competition that you got to deal with, and everybody else is franchised ahead of you with these quarterbacks, and they're going to be competing against each other, and you're going to be left out there holding the bag. And so until they get that right, maybe that might, if Tomlin don't get that right, maybe that might push him out the door next couple of years or next year, and then they get somebody to come in and they realize together we got to get this quarterback. Deal with the quarterbacks that is in our divisions and in our conference.
Look at Jacksonville. Jacksonville traded Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence came in and won the AFC South. C.J. Stroud came in and won the AFC South. Guys
They
like
traded
that.
to get C.J. Stroud too.
But they see what I'm saying? They got out of there.
They knew a need and they got aggressive and went and got him.
There you go, Mark. That's why every single draft, Jerry Jones is the eye to watch on, because he is the most aggressive guy when it comes in the draft. He will trade the hell up. He will trade up to get who he wants. If it weren't for him, we would have probably had Michael Parsons. But he traded up and made a deal with Denver. Yeah, with Denver, he traded up with Denver, and then boom, Dallas got Michael Parsons. So what I'm saying is you have to be aggressive in that draft. This draft right here coming up is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. I can't wait for it. I love the draft. That's one of my favorite parts of the year. I love it because then after the draft, you get to kind of in your own mind, you start to reconstruct your team in your head. At least I do. So you know, I'm sorry, Rob. People need to realize Prime can't coach his sons at the next level unless he goes to Cleveland or Tennessee.
Yeah,
Speaking
that's
of
true.
Prime,
And neither one of them have
Prime.
head coaching openings right now.
Right. Exactly. I definitely I definitely agree on that. So this is the next one. Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones. The Dallas Cowboys fired. As you guys know, the Dallas Cowboys fired Mike McCarthy the other day. Mike McCarthy is no longer the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, but Prime has came up to be the leading candidate for the Dallas Cowboys. I got an article on it. I'm trying to let me take this off and bring up that article real quick so you guys. There we go. Cowboys is working quickly to find Mike McCarthy's replacement. Bill Belichick could be near top of the wish list. No, Bill Belichick is going to stay. He's going to stay in Raleigh. Anyway, the Dallas Cowboys took their time choosing whether to part ways with head coach Mike McCarthy. Now they're working quickly to find his replacement. Sources tell CBS Sports the top Cowboys decision makers took part in exclusive hiring training early Monday afternoon, a step mandated by the NFL for any team to begin its search for a head coach or general manager. News broke Monday around noon that McCarthy and Dallas had parted ways after the two could not agree to the contract length of a potential McCarthy extension. Less than 2 hours later, according to the sources, the Cowboys brass took part in the virtual training. The league introduced the training in 2022 as part of its multi-step hiring process. Any decision maker involved in the hiring process must take the training. Though clubs and people are excluded with the training, they're taking in the most they have taken in the past 2 seasons. What it says about Prime. Bill Belichick could be near the top of Dallas' wish list, according to multiple sources. Belichick Jones had a good relationship over the decades, and sources. Come on, y'all. Come on. I don't even know why they put Belichick's name in the hat. He's not. He's a college guy now. Why they keep?
The NFL
I don't understand
him
that.
last year.
It's done with him. Belichick is now the head coach. Like I just said, Belichick is now the head coach at North Carolina, where he signed a contract. And that has a $10 million buyout. You think Jerry Jones is going to spend $10 million to buy this dude out? If he do, he is a dummy.
That's just a drop in the bucket for him.
But I know, but it's a dumbass move when you owe Dak Prescott 60. But well, but all right, okay. Where's it at? I'm trying to get the Prime here. So much in this article. But anyway, Deion Sanders, the head coach of the Buffalo, the Colorado Buffaloes, is the leading candidate here for the Dallas Cowboys. He's the next guy. He could be the next guy up. Belichick is no way unless Jerry Jones decided to buy him out. So let's go back to the dog here. Do you think, Q? Do you think with a guy like Prime, will that fit? Will that fit him to go to the Dallas Cowboys to be the head coach? Or Prime?
Man, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, really to me, it's really not about the coach. They haven't done nothing since the Big Three. We're talking about Michael Irvin,
thank you,
Troy, and Smith. With these three dominant in their respective positions, they was able to build something. They went through 2 coaches and still was able to keep a dominant, winning tradition. So it doesn't really matter to me who coach you bring in there. It's can you fill those 3 big shoes? I mean, you're starting off with CeeDee Lamb, but can you get him a quarterback and a running back that's on the level that he's on? And I know that, to me, the Cowboys, I mean, really is getting sickening to me because they're not in dominant status like they used to be back in those 90s.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of hit or miss going on since then. And so with bringing Prime in, I feel, yeah, he might be a motivator, whatever, but look, you're going to sell tickets out the ass because you're going to get all these people who support him, like in Colorado, and all these ex-pro players and all this and that. But I don't know if these players can respect somebody that played in the era that he played in, and a lot of times with these coaches like this, they expect the players to play like them. That's the problem. And I don't think Deion can be a good NFL coach, but he's going to want them to play like them. He's going to be on them hard as hell, like the way he played. And Deion still carries that with him, with the flash and all that. Like, he's still the best and all that. But he hasn't let that go because that's just him. Okay, that was you when you played the football. When you played football, when you were active playing football, but you're not a football player no more. But the way he still talks and the way he act like confidence and all that, like he still wants to get out on that field. So he hasn't changed that type of attitude. So he's going to bring that in with him, and hopefully that can materialize with these players to play on the level that he played in. He played on. But that's not going to work. He's going to have to adjust to these players, not make these players adjust to him. You know, don't, just because you're Deion Sanders and you got the rings and you've been dominating your position, but I mean, that's not going to do anything to help these players. That's not going to do anything. You're going to get the respect off top because of who you are. But don't bring that type of attitude and like, I wish I could show you right now type of attitude, or don't try to bring them to a level like you will. It's not going to happen. It just ain't. So you just got to just come in and just, he got to meet these players halfway. You can't take these players back to the 90s. You can't do it. Meet them halfway. No, meet them halfway with your expertise and all the stuff that you played and all the clips you played with. You and Jerry Rice and the 2 of the most dynamic duos that played against each other, Jerry Rice and Deion Sanders. You gave us a show, but there's no Jerry Rice no more, and there's no more Deion. So you got to bring these. You got to find a way to find out how they are, and then you can take what you are and you can meet halfway, and you can get productions out of these players. But do not try to make these players be Deion Sanders. Don't try to do it. It's not going to fucking work.
I agree.
I'm telling you, you're going to have a fucking disaster. Deion got to be willing to understand them instead of making him understand him.
Yeah.
You coming in there with the attitude like you talk to Colorado players, and you have this certain expectation, and don't talk to these players like you they daddy.
There you go.
Don't do that. Don't talk to players like their daddy, because they got money too.
Mm-hmm.
They got money. They got
Okay.
money too. But don't be trying to talk. I just really feel if he can share the attitude of the old Dion a little bit, just push it away a little bit. Come in as a coach. Take them damn chains off and them damn glasses. Take that shit off and be a regular fucking coach. and meet these players halfway. Stop being Deion Sanders. We don't want the cameras on you. Tell these people that when they interview, I'm the coach now. It's not about me. If you make it about you, they make it about you, and it's like, damn, hell, they ain't gonna never get the damn players right. But I just really feel that attitude, and as he was a player, he carried that to Jackson State, he carried that to Colorado. But I just really feel, man, it's not going to work in the NFL. He's a grown ass damn man you're talking to. You need to shed that and meet them halfway. Meet these players halfway. Learn about them. And what you do, you in just like a needle, you just inject to solve what might be going around in them. You just keep injecting with your needle. That's what you keep doing to help them get over the hump of who the players that they are. But don't come in there. He ain't gonna do it anyway. But don't come in there with these chains on and fucking glasses and everybody buying the glass. Don't do that shit. Don't do it, Neil. I really don't, man. Come in and coach.
Just be coach.
Meet the boys. But if he come in the way he coach Colorado, that shit ain't gonna work. That shit gonna be a disaster.
So keep talking that shit.
I'm just telling you, it's gonna be a disaster, man. If you come in like you coach Colorado, that shit ain't gonna fucking work.
It ain't gonna work, bro. So Mark, if Prime, let's just say, because he's the leading candidate. We know Belichick. Stop with the Belichick thing. Just stop with the Belichick crap. Prime could be the next guy up. The next guy up here, former Dallas Cowboy, all that good stuff, yada yada yada. Is it a good idea to sign Deion Sanders as the next head coach for Dallas, or is it not a bad idea? I mean, is it a good idea or a bad idea?
The approach that I take to it is one that kind of opposes everything that Q-Dog said. I look at this situation as Coach Prime is exactly what the Dallas Cowboys need, but the Dallas Cowboys aren't in a good place to receive that right now. And what I mean by that is I believe that Coach Prime has the ability to relate to his players. Yes, he is flashy. Yes, he is a little bit flamboyant and confident in himself, and he knows who he is. But at the same time, like when it's time to practice, when it's time to get down to football, Coach Prime is all business. Like literally, that is the most important thing to him when he's on that football field. It isn't about the headlines and the spotlight. He wants you to play sound, fundamental football. He wants you to listen to the coaching, to do what you're supposed to do, and to have fun. But again, still respect the tradition and the history of the game of football. And I think that's exactly what Dallas needs right now. When I look at the Dallas Cowboys locker room, I see like a whole bunch of egos and not a whole bunch of unity. They don't feel like a team that's united. And I think Coach Prime will be able to go in there and fix that and show them like, yes, you can have individual personalities. Yes, you can like the things that you like. Yes, you can be confident and eccentric, but you can also play really damn good football and be talked about as being one of the best of all time. I mean, you have egos in that locker room like CeeDee Lamb, like Michael Parsons, like my man from Alabama that plays cornerback, Diggs, like Trayvon Diggs. That kind of messaging could work for them. Like, I can still be my confident individual self, but we can also come together as a team and win. Hey, that sounds like a win-win to me. Sign me up for it. But the issue is the man on the left side of that picture. And I'm surprised Q-Dog didn't mention him at all. For me, the real issue is going to be Jerry Jones. Because one thing we know about Coach Prime, and I think this is the reason why he went down the route that he did in coaching in college. Coach Prime doesn't want to be under anybody. He wants to be the head man in charge. And like Dakota, a former Dallas Cowboys head coach, they want you
Like
to cook the
Corleone.
dinner, but they at least need you to be able to let you go out and buy the groceries. Jerry
Right.
Jones ain't going to do that. Jerry Jones is the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are his. Everything revolves around Jerry. It's Jerry's way of the highway. Jerry wants to be the biggest attraction in town. Hence why he's hired coaches like Wade Phillips, like Jason Garrett, like Mike McCarthy, like my man from Oklahoma back in the day. It took over after Jimmy Johnson. You hired Barry Switzer. You hire guys like that because you can control them and their star power isn't going to outshine yours. If you hire Dion, that's going to be the ultimate sign that Jerry Jones is changing his ways and he's willing to put the Dallas Cowboys ahead of Jerry Jones. But with the way that his recent actions have been, I don't think Jerry Jones is ready to do that. Just like what we similarly said about the Pittsburgh Steelers, like you can say about teams like the Green Bay Packers, Jerry Jones is one of them OGs that's just setting his ways and doesn't want to get with the times and think differently and change it up a little bit. What you've done might have worked once upon a time in the past, but results over the 2000s have shown that don't work no more. Like literally, you have to go back to a time period and an era where big men still dominated the paint and you were allowed to be physical in the NBA. To go back to the time when Dallas was actually dominant team in football. That was a long time ago, bro. That exceeds my life. I'm almost 30 years old. It's been that long since you guys were dominant and good. So Coach Prime would be a perfect fit for him, but so Jerry Jones changes, it just ain't gonna work. I think they should look at someone like maybe Kellen Moore, who has familiarity with that organization, but who also isn't going to be the big household superstar that Coach Prime would be. Somebody that Jerry could still manipulate, but also could appease the need to get with the modern times.
Let me go with Rock. Rock said, quote from the day from the OG. Take that shit off and be a coach. I agree with you on that. He's talking about
OG want to bring the Bud Grant era coaches back.
Yeah, you want that Bud Grant back. Jerry.
But fair, I'm talking about a guy like that this morning at the restaurant. He said you need to bring the Bud Grant back.
Yeah, you need to, man. But you know, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna play both roles here. Q said it's a bad idea. Mark said it's a good idea. I'm gonna say both. Let's go. I'm gonna go on Jerry's side real quick. It's gonna be great for Jerry. Jerry Jones, and like him or not, he is one of the greatest businessmen of this era. Let's say we love it. Yeah, he would. Stephen A. He talking about. But yep, good idea. Yep. I would say this on Jerry's end. He's one of the best of all time businessmen. Dallas Cowboys is the most richest organization in pro sports. $6 billion or more. It's probably grown more now because of Jerry Jones, right? So bringing in a guy like Deion Sanders, one of the most popular guys of NFL history, like Mark said, the flamboyancy, the change, he just, when he went to Colorado, he brought a goddamn entourage with him. Like nobody gave a rat's ass about the University of Colorado. Nobody. But now that Prime is there, now you see actors and rappers and all these different celebrities, they even getting TV time because of Deion Sanders and his, alone, who is arguably the greatest defensive back of all time. Okay, so that paper trail is going to bring that paper trail all the way over into Dallas. Again, Dallas Cowboys, the most popular team in professional sports. They have the biggest fan base in professional sports. Everybody is a Cowboy fan. So you bring that plus Deion, Prime, whatever you want to call him, that's money. That's money alone. That's money. That's good on Jerry Jones' end. That's money. Now, let me jump on Prime side. Prime, it will be It will be good. It will be good on Prime side because he like I said earlier, he's a great scout. He can draft. He can bring some talent into the Dallas Cowboys, and I definitely agree with that. And that he will bring the good presence. He'll bring a lot of money. And I believe players will want to play for him. Players, because the players of this day grew up watching him, so now they want to be a part of that. The same way Bill Belichick is in North Carolina. Now all these kids know the pedigree of Bill Belichick. Guarantee you, everybody want to play with North Carolina. That portal is going to be lined up to go to North Carolina. I get it. So that's the good part about it. The bad part about it that he shouldn't be there is like Jerry Jones control, like Jay on the track just said, Jerry's the GM, the CEO, the head scout, the CFO, all that. Jerry's all that. Prime, like it or not, Prime is a showman, but Prime is a man's man. And he wants to run that team. This is where these two is going to butt heads. I think they're going to butt heads at, because Prime, even though he know that's Jerry's team, Prime's going to be like, hey, man, you hire me to coach. Hey, man, you hire me to do a job. Prime is a guy that he will not be disrespected. He will be respected, and he is the coach of that team. Jerry Jones, I believe, is gonna. A lot of Cowboy fans say Jerry Jones don't get in the way. He don't get in the way. Yes, he does. Because why every Cowboys game why they put the camera on him? He's the only owner that they put the camera on. Only owner. So it's good and it's bad. I think it's good for the Cowboys as a team, and as an organization, they're gonna make money off this, heads down. But then it's going to be bad because I believe that Prime is not going to be the coach that he wants. Jason Garrett didn't get, he didn't. I'll put it like this. Let me go back. Let me pull back and say this. Dion ain't a bitch. I just got to put it this way. He ain't a bitch. He's not Jason Garrett. He's not Mike McCarthy. He's not these guys that's going to lay down because of Jerry's the boss. Dion Prime is going to push back. He's going to push back, but it could work because for what I'm hearing that these guys have such a great relationship that Jerry is probably willing to like, okay, all right. I don't see that shit, but okay. So Mike Corleone, he said Dallas needs a run game and a young, thorough quarterback. Well, first of all, they're not going anywhere at quarterback position. Dak Prescott will be the quarterback for the next 4 years there. They're not going to do anything about that. Now, they do need a backup. Who's going to buy him out? He's the highest paid player in the league.
It's a lot of quarterback desperate teams out there. We didn't think Matt Ryan was going to get traded from Atlanta with his big contract that Indianapolis scooped him up. So
for Dak Prescott, though?
You can't tell me the Raiders wouldn't be interested. You can't tell me the Giants wouldn't be interested. I mean, the Jets, those are just teams on the top of the head right now.
Yeah. But I mean,
Pittsburgh would probably be interested.
Maybe because I'm seeing it. Maybe because I'm seeing it as a fan in Dak Prescott. I don't know, bro. I think he's just gonna. He fits in Dallas.
It's a quarterback-driven league. Like you literally have to have a guy in that position, and teams are gonna pay or take a chance to get that position right. So look what the Jets did. With Aaron Rodgers,
so he's eating pearls for breakfast. It's all about the money with these two guys. It's all about the money. This guy's gonna make a bankroll if they connect together. But like I said, is Jerry Jones gonna let his stubbornness down and let Prime really run his team, or will Prime just say the hell with it? I know Jerry, I love Jerry, but I don't want those problems. I don't want to ruin my relationship. I'm not coming to Dallas. Because don't forget, Prime worked for Jerry before, so he know how Jerry is.
Yeah.
He worked for him, so you already know.
It's a different set of circumstances when you're the player versus when you're the coach. Because when I'm the player, I solely control what I can control based off of my ability. But when I'm the coach,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark. If y'all two get, let's just say a team say, hey, Q, we want you to be the head coach of this football team. Okay.
Yeah.
Immediately, first thing you're gonna talk about is money. Off gate.
Right.
Okay. Second of all, you're gonna say, okay, this is my team. This is my team. So this is what I want. You're the head coach now, right? Ain't you gonna be like, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want to hire this person. I want to hire that person. I want to hire this. I want to hire that. I want to do this. I want to do that. Right? When you're a coach, right? Exactly. That's what Prime did in Colorado, and it worked. Okay, but he's dealing with Jerry Jones. I don't know if this is gonna work. He said, bring Prime's son in the picture. He would never start. Well, I ain't gonna say never start, but he would not be the starter. See, that's the pushback. So now Jerry gonna be like, no, Shadur's not gonna start. I got my guy, Dak Prescott. He's been here the longest. We're gonna go with him. And then Prime, just for example, Prime gonna be like, well, my son is the youth. He's the future. My son don't get injured, hamstring injuries and stuff like that. My son plays the whole season. See how worlds collide? Worlds gonna collide in that, bro. I mean,
I can see that. I can't because we know Dion is like these previous coaches. He's not going to sit back and take what Jerry did to him.
No,
and,
he's not.
No, he's not going to do that. He's going to want to do what he want to do, and if he can't run the reins of the team, then he out of there. So Jerry, I might think Jerry might do that at the beginning, but he might start fucking with Dion. He might start fucking with him.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I hate to go fairy tale with this in the movies, but look at Coach Carter. Coach Carter, that movie, Coach Carter, the basketball team came in with Richmond. He came in with Richmond. Damian Carter. You see? Shout out to Deuce. But he came in and he wanted those boys to learn, but the school will push back on him. They push back on his ass.
They say, do it. You're just supposed to coach the team. You're supposed to be concerned about that shit.
See what I'm saying? Prime is all about, and I know Q, you said don't come in as being a daddy, but the way the NFL is and these athletes, you kind of need it. Especially when you got guys out here going here.
They wouldn't accept that type of talk.
There you go. That's the question.
They wouldn't accept. He old school though, man.
That's what they need. Yes, sir.
Like to answer that question, Q-Dog, Coach Prime is very, very old school. That is without a fact. But one of the cool parts about him being the head man in Colorado is he's taken us behind the scenes a lot during his tenure there. And one of the signs of a great coach, and Host knows this firsthand, you got to learn each one of your individual players, because what works with one player ain't going to work with another player. One player might respond well to you getting aggressive and getting in their face and yelling a little bit. Another player might not respond well to that. You got to be softer with them. Coach Prime knows that. He knows how to identify that. So him communicating with them dudes, I don't think would be an issue for him.
I think it'll be an issue.
I don't know.
I'm saying even if you did want to question him, OG, even if I'm a young bull and I got my own ego and I don't want to listen to what Coach Prime got to say, the man's a Hall of Fame. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's literally been regarded as one of the greatest.
They don't give a shit about that.
If you've been to where you're trying to get to, dog, I mean,
they don't give a shit about that. I'm telling you. These young people ain't gonna give a shit about them. Young players ain't gonna give a shit about that. It's just the fact that he's talking to them like he ain't goddamn daddy. And they ain't gonna like that shit. They got money already. They ain't gonna like that. They ain't gonna respect the championships or who he is, Coach Prime and all that kind of stuff like that. If I was Dion, I'd take that Coach Prime shit off my name. I'm Coach Sanders. I don't want to be no damn Coach Prime. That Prime was when I was playing ball. I'm Coach Sanders. That's what I would take off. I would
He
take
got
that shit off.
offended when people called him that.
Coach what?
When reporters used to try to call him Coach Dion or Coach Sanders, he got offended. He was
didn't like
like
the Prime.
emphatic. He was like, "My name is Coach Prime."
But see, he holding on to that shit when he was a player.
But it's worked for him.
Well, I mean, it might be working for him now because he was coaching college kids.
He said, "Thank you, Big Q." He said, "You're right." He said, "You're right, Q."
But I'm telling you that them grown men, these are grown men with money, bro. And they ain't trying to hear nobody. They're not trying to hear nobody. You're trying to. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get an old school player to talk to these new school players like old school. He gonna have to find a way to meet halfway. He can't do that because these young bulls are not trying to hear all that shit. Yeah, you were pro Prime, respect that, man, but that shit was 40 years ago, man.
Yep.
But if Coach Tomlin's been able to do it in Pittsburgh, or even an even better example for you, OG, if you saying they ain't gonna respect Coach Prime, they're not gonna respect his accolades and stuff, and nobody's gonna listen to him, how the hell does a coach like Mike McDonald get players to listen to him? How the hell does
I think you know what I'm saying? But these players more X's and O's than attitude. No more X's and O's.
Prime is not that. Prime is not X's and O's.
He ain't X's and O's.
No, that's like Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is not X's and O's, but he know how to reach you. He know how to reach you. He know how to reach you.
Right.
He know how to motivate you and push you.
Why can't it work for Coach Prime?
I think it could, man. Mark, but it's just gonna be some. I think it's just gonna be some. Like, you know, guys just got to be willing. And I think personally, they're going to respect him because he won a Super Bowl with that organization. And again, he is the greatest defensive back of all time. Like, they're gonna respect that, and they're gonna respect the fact that what he did in Colorado, taking a 1-14 team, you know, to a winning contender now. So that's going to be highly respected. That's gonna be highly respected. I think it's going to work. I think it probably would work with Prime coming there, but Jerry is going to have to lay off a little bit, and he's going to have to give some of the reins over to Prime in order to get that team back to a winning establishment. Because again, you got to battle in that division. Let's think about this now. In that division, you got to battle a well up-and-coming Washington Commanders team and a well-established Philadelphia Eagles team. You know, so you got to handle the likes of that. You just can't bring any old Joe Schmo in here like that. Like you have to handle that. Prime getting to the players is a hit or miss. I think it's more. It could be more of a hit. It could, but some players like guys like Michael Parsons and I believe CeeDee Lamb will fall in place, but somebody like Michael Parsons, I don't know, bro, because he complains so fucking much. He complains so much on his podcast.
I think what you say what the number one player, CeeDee Lamb, I don't think he gonna be able to take you in front of. He got his money, and I don't believe that man gonna be
Triple H.
I was thinking that analogy in my head, Mike. Like Jerry is Vince McMahon, and Coach Prime would be Triple H. I
don't think CeeDee Lamb is the type of person that lets you get in the damn face. I just don't believe he will.
Who you taking, Prime or Revis? Prime.
Prime.
What the hell? All day long.
No question.
That's a no-brainer. But CD to go back to CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb, because this year, bro, and I agree with some of the things. I know the reason why you say CeeDee Lamb because of the way he is, but I think this season right here CeeDee Lamb has grown up to be a player. The guy is wearing his heart on his sleeve. When they played the Falcons, he dislocated his shoulder. He went out for 3 goddamn plays, and then he came in and he checked himself. He checked his own goddamn self in. Came in and caught a touchdown with a dislocated shoulder, and he played the rest of the season with it. Yeah, that shows me that he's grew up. That shows me that he has a lot of heart and a lot of will, and he could be really one of the sole captains on that Dallas Cowboy team. And like I said, CeeDee Lamb is really.
How you think him and Dak will get along? How do you think Prime and Dak?
That's where he needs to start. If he gets the job, that's where he needs to start first.
Right, but I'm saying, how you think they would get along?
Dak and Coach
I think it'll get. Yeah, I think they'll get along fine. I think they'll get along fine.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I feel like Coach, because I've seen him do it firsthand. OG, I believe Coach will be able to find something to relate to Dak with, and then they would start on a very positive note. And I think I think they would be a good pair. I don't know why. Yeah. I really just believe my heart of hearts, Coach Tron would be the perfect fit for them if it won't for Jerry. Jerry's the only reason why I feel like
Jerry's the only one in the way.
Jerry's Jerry ain't gonna
any other owner, but
Jerry ain't gonna do it, man. He ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
No, he's Vince McMahon in the age of you got an up and comer in AEW for the wrestling heads. Like when you've been there for so long, you're used to doing it your way and being the only opinion that you really had to listen to. It can be tough to take somebody else's advice, but that's what they need.
Well,
that's the problem. That's the problem in Pittsburgh. It's the same problem in Pittsburgh.
He's gonna do him just like he did Jimmy Johnson. He's gonna take all the credit, man. That's all he's gonna do. That's all. If he did it to Jimmy Johnson, he'll do it to Brian. He's gonna take all the credit. Get him where you want to go. He's gonna take all the credit.
Thanks, y'all. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you coming on live. Hey, do us a favor, man. Do us a favor. We on every Saturday, not next Saturday, but we on every Saturday. Hit that subscribe button, man. We love all your comments. I'll post every last one of them, man. Thank you for being on the show, brother. Mike Corleone. Shout out Mike Corleone, man. Appreciate you coming on. Like I said, February 1st, we'll be back. But hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for all notifications. It'll let you know every single time we go live, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Oh, man. Goddamn, boy. I love talking football, man. I love talking football. It is a thing of beauty here. Well, we're going to get out of here. But before we get out of here, oh, man. Time is rolling today. Jesus. Time is really rolling. It's almost 3 o'clock on the East Coast. On the East Coast over here, man. Holy moly. And I ain't got my stuff together. But anyway, really quick, man. Interesting games, some good games. Let me put it up here. We got the Washington Commanders tonight. The Commanders and the Lions tonight. I mean, and then we got is that right? Kansas City and Texans at 4:30, right, Mom?
Yeah. Team with a good barbecue versus Houston, 4:30, and then prime time is Washington. And tomorrow, it's,
I got my joint else.
Tomorrow is Buffalo, Baltimore, and Washington versus not Washington, darn it, Philly versus
Rams versus Eagles. Yeah, that's at 3 o'clock, and then after that, Buffalo and Baltimore.
Buffalo and Baltimore should be good.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan.
I'm with that. Yeah, I'm ready for that. But anyway, before we get out of here, I will ask you guys really quick. Computer. Really quick here with the playoffs. There we go. With the playoffs here. Again, we got Buffalo and the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City whatevers, and the Houston Texans on this side, and we got the Rams and the Eagles, and we got the Commanders. I don't know why it's like that. It's all jacked up, but the Commanders and the Lions. So real quick, man, let's go with the dog. What's your take on today's games? Today game and tomorrow game. What's your take on it? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose?
I'm really intrigued that I really did not want to play the Rams. I said at the beginning that we had to play a wild card team. Let me play the Tampa Bay. Let me play Tampa Bay. I didn't want to play the Rams because of Sean McVay. I mean, he's incredible, man. I mean, this dude right here, we talking about franchise quarterbacks. He playing with a franchise quarterback that's tough, that know how to win. I think Philly is really. I think Philly might really sleep on this team. They might really sleep on because Sean McVay gonna have these boys ready, and he's gonna come up. He's gonna get it deep in that playbook. And Matthew Stafford is gonna be. He's a tough out, man. He's a tough out. So that's that game. I'm really intrigued in tomorrow. The Washington Commanders. I think they have to get out a jump on front of Detroit because you know Detroit like to light the scoreboard up. So I think Dave needs to get out on that field and he need to get a jump out on because if he don't, and he tried to play. I don't think they had a defense to hold them down, but I think they just need to keep out in front of them and keep them off the field as much as you can to win this game. But if they don't, and they get out in that shootout, then Detroit gonna win this from the hand slide down. You know, with Montgomery coming back and that tag team duo on the backfield. If Washington don't get out and just play a perfect game, keep it kind of down, keep that team off the field as much as you can, they can win. But if they don't, they'll lose. With Kansas City and Texas, this is Kansas. This is Texas' second time around being in the playoff facing this team. They played them in the regular season, and so they didn't get to jump out on them. So I think they just need to play tough ball. It's going to be hard to fight them and the refs, but you got to get that out your head. It's going down. It's going down. I don't know. This team is fresh. Texas it's hard to play a playoff team that got to win. They get some type of minimum. They come into your house. You've been sitting for a week. You're kind of rusty. So these playoff teams that come into these other teams, home team, you just jump out early because you at an advantage. You already done played the game. You played the game under pressure. They haven't. They haven't played the game under pressure yet. So you need to go ahead out and jump out on the gate. All these road playoff teams that won last week in the wild card. Baltimore the same way. But I just don't think that they got to get that Derrick Henry train oiled up and get that thing going. You got to know how much coal you can in that train. Because if you don't get no coal in that train, then I'm telling you right now, you don't get no coal in that train. That's the key. Getting that Derrick Henry train, I think I can. Throw all the coal you can up in there, bro. Because I'm trying to tell you, he is the catalyst of the team. And Buffalo knows this. They know not to get him started. But I think Buffalo is going. They like to shoot out too. They like to score points. So they got the offense is more better to me than Baltimore. Baltimore's secondary is suspect, and so they got to play a good defensive game to win this game. I'm talking about Baltimore to slow this Josh Allen and the boys down. But if that defense don't come, that defense definitely have to come. And if it don't come, I'm looking at Buffalo to take this thing out in the cold weather up there. So that'll be a good game Sunday.
All right, Mark, run down for the playoffs.
But one thing about I can say a playoff team, I just really can't say because you don't know how it goes because it's win or lose and these teams that been dominated all throughout the regular season. I mean, you got somebody that wants to fight, and everybody don't want to go home like that. So don't think all these games these 4 games gonna be blowouts, man. I mean, come on now. I mean, we're gonna be entertained. Starting here at 4:30, we're gonna be entertained by some games. And I gotta go to Bonfire and get my haircut. I hear him try to get back. But I'm telling you, man, we're gonna be entertained by these games, man. But I'm really excited about that Ram game. Philly G, I love you, bro. But I'm telling you, man, do not underestimate this team. This is the most scariest team in that whole playoff. I mean, you got Sean McVay, man. That dude right there, crafty, man. He crafty.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna lay down, man. You ain't gonna blow that dude out, man.
Yeah.
He crafty. Yeah, Philly D, your boy Hurts didn't look too good last week. He been playing in a couple of weeks, so I don't know if that concussion thing is messing with him or whatever. We'll see this week, but just Sean McVay and them got a leg up on you because they already done won. They come in with momentum. They come in with emotional hearts because of the wildfires. And so, you know, they're gonna give it all what they got for the fans and the city of LA. So, man, you know, when teams come in like that with heavy hearts, man, I'm telling you, I'd be scared to play LA Rams, man. I really would.
Yeah, I agree with the dog on that, boy. That was preaching methods right there.
Yeah,
boy, what you think about these 1, 2, 3, 4 games? These 4 games right here. Your take on it?
Oh man,
2-minute warning.
not to sound like a hater, but one team got the luck of the draw, and the other team got the short end of the stick. Philadelphia got so lucky that they didn't have to play Tampa in the postseason this year. I just believe in my heart of hearts, if Baker and Todd Bowles would have had a chance to play Philly, they would have knocked them out either in the first round or especially like in the divisional round. I think Tampa would have beaten them, but it is what it is. They got Green Bay. They beat them. That Rams game is interesting. When they played earlier this season, Philly kind of won in a decisive fashion. It wasn't a blowout, but you know, you could clearly tell who the better team was in that game. But I agree with OG having that emotional motivation behind you with everything going on at home. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But it's supposed to snow in Philly on Sunday, and Matthew Stafford is like 1-9 in games in the snow. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play. Because if it's bad weather, Cooper Kupp ain't really going to be effective. Nakua is not really going to be effective. So that might open the door for Philly to go ahead and get to the conference title game. That Washington and Detroit game is going to be really, really, really interesting for me. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most this weekend. Really could go either way. With Detroit, their defense played tough in the regular season finale against Minnesota. Our boy from the Raiders, Mr. Robertson, he was on one that game, man. He gave it his all. I love to see it. I'm curious to see if he'd be able to do that same thing with Terry McLaurin, or if they take away 17, or are they going to be able to take away Drew Brown or Zacchaeus or any of the other weapons that Washington has on offense. But the key to that game is going to be who can play better defense. Detroit's defense is banged up. Washington's defense has been wishy-washy all season. So whichever team's defense shows up in that game, I think is going to win. Buffalo, they were the team I mentioned earlier. They got the short end of the stick in all this, in my opinion, because the worst matchup for them is Baltimore. Because Baltimore runs the ball so well with Henry and with Jackson, I don't know if Buffalo really has anybody on defense that can really stop the running game of Baltimore. And that's what did them in the first time they played. And unfortunately, I think it has a chance to do them in again this time. The only way I can see Buffalo having a chance is if they're able to get James Cook going and get him going early and fast. Because if you're able to run the football, not only are you scoring points with him as he's been doing all season, but let's keep Lamar in that offense off the field. So if Buffalo wants to win this game, they can't rely solely on Josh Allen. They got to get some productivity out of James Cook, out of Keon Coleman, out of Amari Cooper in the game to get that win. Because I think Buffalo is our best chance. We want to see a team prevent the team with a good barbecue from three-peating. Buffalo, I think, is the best chance we have of doing that. Houston, their defense is tenacious, and their defense takes the ball away, and they can be very, very strict when they want to be. Patrick Mahomes has been turning the ball over a lot this season, and they've had a lot of close calls. The only thing that makes me hesitant to give Houston a chance in that game is because of their offensive line. You're going against Steve Spagnuolo and Chris Jones in that defense with a banged-up offensive line that doesn't really do the best of jobs protecting C.J. Stroud. So I think that's going to be the reason why the team to get barbecue wins and advances. But if Houston's offensive line can hold up just a little bit and give Stroud time to get the ball to Nico Collins and the rest of them, Houston might be able to steal one. They have the defense to do it. I just don't know if they're going to be able to set the quarterback long enough to take advantage of it.
That's interesting. Man, you made a hell of a point with that Kansas City game. Because he does. The Texans lead the league in interception. Well,
something
they're
like
one of the top 5. Yeah, something like that, top 5
I mean, remember how many times they intercepted Jared Goff when they played Detroit?
That's a fact. Yeah. Damn, I ain't think about that. Well, it's coming on all together. 4:30. First game at 4:30. The Houston Texans versus the team in Kansas City. And tonight, 8 o'clock, you have the Washington Commanders versus the Detroit Lions. And tomorrow, the Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens, and the Los Angeles Rams versus the Philadelphia Eagles here. Interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, man, it's always a pleasure for being here. But fortunately, that is our show for today, man. As always, we can't thank you enough for watching another episode of the Real Sports Talk Show, man. If you like what you've seen today and like what you heard today, man, and you really digging us today, man, stop what you're doing right now. Hit that thumbs up or that like button for the OG, the Dog, Q-Dog, and Mr. Episode, the Pioneer, the Day One, Young Mark, man. Hit that thumbs up for these two gentlemen today. They bring it like they always do each and every single week right here on the Real Sports Podcast. Again, thank you guys all over the world for watching. Again, hit that thumbs up. It is very important. We don't ask for much, but if you can just please hit that thumbs up for us, man, we will highly appreciate it. Probably appreciate it, man. So we got football in about an hour and a half. So we're going to get out of here. But before we get out of here, why not go out with Mr. Day One himself?
Hey, man, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. We got to talk a lot of football. It's almost over, though. We only got 2 more weeks of football left. But, hey, it was a fun ride while it lasted. We're not going to go anywhere. We still got to give you guys the latest and greatest from spring football, from the NBA, from everything else happening in the sports world. So even though football season is coming to an end, Real Sports Podcast train is going to keep on rolling. So make sure you come on back. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and come hang out with us to talk some more sports.
No doubt. And shout out to Mike Corleone, man. Shout out to Mike Corleone, man, coming in the show, giving his insight, dropping his knowledge. I can tell he's a Cowboy fan, but I can tell that for sure. But hey, man, not all Cowboy fans are bad. Not all of them are bad. Just majority of them. But again, man, thank you, Mike Corleone, for coming on the show. Hopefully you come back again. Next Saturday show, of course, I put it across the screen. Saturday show will be canceled. Again, man, I am sorry for all the show cancellations lately. You know, we had Christmas holiday and New Year's, and me having basketball games and stuff like that. But this Saturday here, I gotta work. So I gotta do that, man. So I gotta work next Saturday. But we'll definitely be back the following Saturday, which is February 1st. So we'll be back February 1st at 1 p.m. live right here on YouTube, man. Again, thank you guys for watching. I deeply apologize for all the cancellations, but please remember to recognize mental health and remember the victims of the LA wildfire, man. And on behalf of myself, the legendary Q-Dog, and Mr. Day One, everybody around the world, man, please just watch it, man. Please be safe and stay safe. And that's an order.